Hello everyone. So, sorry I haven't made a video in a long time, but I have some exciting news to share. To some people it might not be news, but I was in Romania a couple months ago. As some of you know, I went to XFactor, and that is a story for another day. That would be a much longer video. But that's not the important thing. The important thing is that I was able to go to Romania and I was so happy. I was the happiest girl in the world. I always knew I'd go to Romania, but I thought like maybe later, you know, when I have more money. But this seemed like the right opportunity and the right time, or a good excuse to go. So I was so happy that I was able to spend 2 weeks there in August. So now I just want to tell you a little bit about my trip, where I went, the things I saw, what I liked, what I loved, and what I not so loved. And hopefully you enjoy this video. I got to Bucharest, landed in Bucharest on the 7th, and before that, on my flight from Paris to Bucharest, I was like a mess. I was like crying because I was just so excited, you know, like I've like dreamed of this for a long time, such a long time. So yeah, finally landing there was like, is this even real? And the first thing that was really shocking to me was the weather in Bucharest in the summer. It was so bad. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the summer, and it was so humid that day, so I was like, oh my goodness, this is a bit crazy. But yeah, I was so happy to be there, and we drove to the hotel that I was staying at, and I, you know, realized that a lot of it was just like city, you know. I guess I had expected something else from seeing Bucharest, so that was a little bit of a shock for me, but that day was really fast. Like everything happened so fast. My friend that I stayed with for a while, he came to pick me up, and we went to a wedding that was kind of out, like more away from the city, so that was nice. And I was able to eat I feel like all the traditional foods in one day. So I ate like sarmale, mamaliga, chorba, I think. I don't know all the names and all these desserts and things, and it was a good day. And that was my first day there, and it just felt surreal to actually be in Romania. The next day was actually my XFactor audition, and all I'm gonna say is that was quite the experience. Yeah, it was an interesting experience, but that's a video for another day if you want to know about that. It's not something I really want to share about right now. Then, you know, that day after the audition, I had some time to go out and see the city a little bit more. I had told my friend I was a little bit like, you know, like hoping to see like the older parts of town, not just like the city and everything. So we went out to yeah, the Palatio Parlamento, I don't know how to say it. And that was really pretty at night. We went to a park, Herestro or something like that. And we tried to go to all the like cute little places in Bucharest. But I hate to admit it, and I really did not want to admit it while I was in Romania, but I had a really hard time adjusting to Bucharest because I had expected, I guess, something different, but it was a big city for me, and I'm not a big city kind of girl. So I was really taken back by all the traffic, and just the way that people drive there is like, wow, like how do they do this? So that was one of the things that was a little bit of a culture shock for me, because I've never seen something like that before. So the next day we also tried to go see some part of the like older town and some of the buildings there, and so they were really pretty. The architecture was everything that I had expected, so that was nice. We went to this bookstore, Bucharest, I think it's called. That was nice. And then we went out more towards, I don't know if it's like, I don't know what it would be called, but it's not city, to Volcea. It's still a big city, actually. Anyways, so we went away from Bucharest. Then the following day, I went to Ploiești to meet up with another friend, and I stayed with her family that evening. The next day, bright and early, we went out to Sighișoara, and that was everything that I had expected and more because it rained, and I was so happy, and it was just a really good day being there. I had so much fun spending time with her and her family that we did like a 5-day road trip. And Sighișoara, like the streets, the colors, everything you see is so amazing, and I was a really, really happy girl. The next day we went to Sibiu, and that was also really nice. I really liked it. I could imagine like living in a place like that. The city center, and like we went to see some of the museums, I think, and just learning about the history of everything. I had no idea of the German history that is embedded in Romanian history. The next day we went to Brașov, which is like the place that I wanted to go more than anything, and I was so happy, and it was so nice. Like if all the cities I visited, if I could live anywhere, I would probably pick Brașov, because it was just perfect. I don't know, it wasn't like crazy traffic, at least not where we stayed, and the city center was there, and we went up the mountain, I don't know what it's called, to the sign. And what else did we do? We ate a lot of good food. I ate a lot of papanash. That was good. Drank a lot of coffee. We went to a karaoke bar with my friend, so she's a singer too, and we went out to sing at the karaoke bar, and that was really fun. We stayed up a little too late. Then the next day we were a little bit in Brașov, and then we went to Bran, the castle there, and we went inside, and it was really cool for me because I had like previously done a project on this, as I mentioned, in 7th grade, and so it was weird to, I don't know, be there and be looking at all these things. Like, I don't know, it was great for me to go there. The next day we went back to Ploiești, to her house, had a barbecue there. Then I went back to my other friend. I went to Salina Ocnelemar, I think it's called. It was really cold down there, but it was cool. It was a cool experience. We kind of just walked around, had something to drink. That was a good day. Then we went to Mănăstirea Cozia. I don't know how to say it, but it was cool. There's so many churches in Romania, so there's always beautiful things to look at, so we stopped at a couple of those, but that one was really pretty, and we were able to go inside and like walk around, and there was like, I think, a river nearby, so that was really nice. And then that night we stayed in Voineasa, which was really nice because we had a really cool cabin to ourselves, and it was so pretty because in the morning there was like some fog and like hills and mountains, and that place was like magical. And then the next day we went to Transalpina, and on the way I thought I was gonna die because of the roads. Like, I don't know how people drive on those roads. Like, all the time I was in Romania, I really wondered, like, I could never drive here. I can barely drive, back home. I don't think I could drive these roads. But, my friend was a good driver, so we made it safely. And that was really nice. I really loved it because it was a really cold day. Like, just in case you didn't know, I love rain, and I was so happy because it rained, and there was a thunderstorm too, I think, that night. So I was so happy. But that day it was like cold and foggy, and we were just up there, and there were only a few other crazy people, out in that weather. But that was really like something to see. I was so, like, that was one of my favorite places to see. Then on the way back down, I think we went to this cave called Pestera Muierilor or something about women. I don't know. And that was an interesting thing. I know there's a lot of caves to look at, and it was interesting. It was very cold. Everything was cold that day. And then the next day, we went to travel the Transfagarașan, and that was probably my favorite thing ever. Just like the road up and everything. And even though it was raining that day and it's kind of like unsafe to drive in rain, it was so beautiful, and there was just so much to see, and all the like the drive up there are like these, you know, waterfalls coming down. But most of you probably already know that. The next day we kind of just went back to his house and hung out and went to a lot of little towns around there, and like did some shopping. And then I went back to Bucharest because I left the next day. And yeah, that's just like a really short summary of all the places I went to and all the things I did. Those 2 weeks were really great for me, but it definitely put me out of my comfort zone because, you know, the blessing was that I was around all these people, obviously, who spoke Romanian, and I was just like taking it all in, and it was so great. But at the same time, sometimes I felt like I couldn't like communicate or like get my point across, or also like just language barriers can be a little bit unnerving. So there's, you know, good and bad to that. Besides that, I don't know, it was different. It's the first time I'd traveled alone so far. So yeah, but everyone that I met was so nice, and you know, the 2 friends that I stayed with, I hadn't known them for too long actually, but they were just the nicest people, and their families, you know, let me into their home, and they, you know, helped me with everything. And my friend, her mom sent me back here with some homemade zakuska, so that was great because I fell in love with that. Some other things that I really enjoyed, sometimes I would sit and just watch TV, because that's something I was looking forward to, just like being able to turn on the TV and say like, oh, like I'm watching Romanian television. And a lot of the things I like to watch are like kids shows, because they're so funny. I don't know, the little voices that they make them do to be are hilarious. So I spent some time watching kids shows. Then let's see. There was this cheese that I really liked, Telemea cheese. That was really good. I love that cheese. And I just love all the food over there. Yeah, so I had all of the, you know, not all the foods, but a lot of the traditional foods. Sarmale, yes, it was amazing. I didn't eat too much of it, but yeah, it was good. Mici, I had those. They were good. I don't eat meat too much, so sorry about that. But they were good, what I had. This is something that I fell in love with that I wish I could find here. There's like these popsicles. I know they're probably not even like a big deal, but they're like these creamy popsicles, and they had all these flavors. I only got to try 2, and I was looking everywhere. Oh, I wish I could have had another one before I came. Anyway, so next time. I loved babanash. I ate like twice in one day. I ate 2 plates of them. Something that was surprising to me was the coffee, because here when we get coffee we usually get like a cup, you know, but over there it's like espresso. So I would take like 2 or 3 cups because I felt like I needed more. And sometimes I'd be okay, but like one time I just couldn't sleep because that coffee was strong. But I really like that about Romania, how they have like strong coffee. So that was really fun for me. Something surprising was definitely Bucharest. It took me by surprise with the traffic. Yeah, I definitely need to go back because I missed a lot of beautiful cities that I want to see, like Cluj, Iași, and then like, you know, more to the west side, like Timișoara, I think is there. I don't know, but there are just so many beautiful places that I need to see, and I definitely want to go back. I loved it. I loved, you know, the people, and everyone was so hospitable to me and so kind, and the food was amazing. I will never drive there, but as long as I have a good driver to help me, then I'll definitely go back. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you have any questions about anything else you'd like to know about my trip, or what I thought about Romania when I'm coming back, or anything like that, let me know. And I'll try to make another cover soon for anyone who still wants that. And I've also heard that you would like to have a video of me speaking Romanian. is kind of scary because I don't speak Romanian very well. But I can try. Yeah, I don't speak very well. I understand it though, so, and it was so great, you know, being in Romania. I was able to just like listen to people speaking Romanian all the time, so I learned a lot and I understood like 75% of conversations. But after a while, my brain was so tired. I was like, let me just zone out and not listen because my brain hurts. But yeah, I'm looking forward to the next time that I go to Romania and maybe meet more people and make more friends, see more beautiful cities, and just fall in love with Romania all over again. Thank you all for your support.